that was, when you can't see your loved one for that long, it's just hard to explain.
And how long has he been here at Cornerstone?
Let's see, August 18th he got here.
Okay. And from Memorial Hermann in the Woodlands?
Yes.
Is that right? Okay. And kids, what do you, first, I mean, it must be hard to see your dad like that, right?
Yeah, it's like, you know, the strong, like your superhero growing up, you know, you see him in kind of a weakened state and vulnerable, so it's pretty hard to see him in that light.
He's always been our protector, and
he's like this big, strong police officer, you know, gets the bad guys, so.
To see him like that.
It's very tough.
And he's unique in that he didn't have any underlying conditions. I mean, you hear of people getting real sick because they have other issues.
Yes, and we've had numerous people ask us or say, surely he had something, diabetes. No, he took a pill for blood pressure, is it? No underlying issues at all.
And I know Steve told me way back when, I mean, they're really active, right? And
yes, we walked every day. He walked his dog every day. We'd get out as much as we could and do whatever we can. So that is his goal, is to be back there eventually.
And I mean, he's come so far just watching that video.
Yes.
It's, I mean, you could see like he lost all kinds of muscle. I mean, you just lay there for so long.
One of the doctors told us for every day in ICU, expect 5 days of recovery. So that would be about 6 months out.
And what has he said to you about his struggle? I mean, there's probably been times when he's been down, right? And, you know,
yes,
it's hard, right?
He has kept his head up. He knows that God gave him a second chance, and he's ready to use it. He's just, he's ready to tell everybody that he did get a second chance, and he's not going to waste it, because there's so many people that we even know that did not get a second chance.
Is there anything you guys want people to know about your dad and the strength maybe, and or the struggle it's been? Or when you've also heard people maybe downplaying COVID or whatever?
It can happen to anyone. I mean, before this, I was kind of, you know, whatever about it. You know, being a college student, and, you know, when it really hits you, you know, you realize it's a real thing. So, you know, wear your mask and all that.
And Sheryle, where is it? Will he be able to be a policeman again?
We don't know. So right now we're just in the recovery stage, and we will just take it day by day. But I definitely, the Houston Police Department and the Houston, the union has been in constant communication with us and has been a huge support throughout this entire ordeal. Thank them very much.
Yeah, how exciting is that to see him finally leave, and maybe even when you see him go through your front door?
It was something that we thought may not happen, so we are extremely ecstatic today. You can't see, but I'm smiling.
And it's going to just build. I mean, you know,
Yes.
I mean, we're joined by, you know, a dozen people here, but there's going to be more, right?
Yes, absolutely.
And is that what you want to do for him? Do you want to, are you hoping there's going to be a lot of people kind of welcoming him home, and why?
Just so he can see how many people love him and how many people were rooting for him. People that don't even know him were praying for him. They made a Facebook page, Pray for Hito. There was someone in every state. They had someone comment. There was someone in every state in, I think, 3 or 4 different countries that were praying for him. And when that happens, it's just, we were just awestruck at the outpouring of everyone.
I don't have any other questions. Is there anything else?
I don't
What are y'all
so.
going to do tonight?
Watch football.
And eat Mexican food. But definitely these people are our heroes right here. And the ECMO machine definitely saved his life.
And not everybody has access to that, or?
We can talk about that.
Yes, okay.
These folks came over from Memorial Hermann. And
Respiratory therapist, and he's the perfusion us for the ECMO.
You know who I was?
Do you want us to do it separate, or how would you like? Want us to?
We're fine with just one spokesperson. Yeah. I'm
Let's
fine
just
not
give
being
me
in
a
it.
spokesperson. You know, we
Yeah.
can get video of y'all, whatever
Okay.
you say your name and
Okay.
spelling.
Okay. My name's Jessica Reed, R-E-E-D. Like that.
Yeah, you can just look at me and tell me your title.
Okay. I am the respiratory coordinator at Memorial Hermann Woodlands. I mostly spend most of my time in the ICU. I know a lot of people have questions about the ECMO pump. While I'm not an ECMO specialist, I can tell you a little bit about that. So on the ventilator or normal breathing, we breathe in the oxygen and then it metabolizes into carbon dioxide. So we do that with the ventilator normally. Our ventilator was optimized at the very highest settings that it could go, so we had to do something called ECMO. It stands for extracorporeal membrane oxygenation. So we place lines in either in your femoral artery or in your neck, and it takes the blood out and puts the oxygen back in, and it takes the CO2 out, puts the oxygen back in. So it is basically it's a cardiac bypass, and Mike can speak a little bit more about it because he is a specialist. We also did add nitric oxide, which is a specialty gas, and we also proned him. So all of these things you maybe have seen floating around the internet, these are the things that we do to treat our COVID patients. He had a very long stint with all of us, and we are so excited to see that he has done so well, which, I mean, I speak for all of the nurses over there, all of the respiratory therapists, all the ECMO specialists, the physicians, administration. We are very, very thrilled to see. Like his wife said, not everyone has the same positive outcome. What I can tell you is that we are all here, have a lot of feelings for the last 6 months. It is about 6 months since it started, knowing that we hope everything keeps moving in the right direction. And to the son's statement, please wear your mask and wash your hands and social distance. Anything else?
But you know, when you see somebody in the hospital for so long and you're there day in and day out, you know them, right? And you're rooting. I mean, I know you're rooting for every patient, but you know, it's nice to see the end results and see them be able to go home, right?
So it definitely becomes a personal thing when you spend most of your time with him. Like his wife said, we established a relationship that's much further than just a nurse and a patient type of relationship. We're the only person there because we weren't limited to having visitors. So for example, Michelle was there a lot during the daytime. She would be there, she would be that advocate for him to his wife through that Zoom call, or any kind of conversation about how his status was going. It puts a lot of stress to know that you're the only person there to hold his hand or, you know, comfort him if his blood pressure goes up. So yes, it is definitely more than just a normal situation, say 5 years ago in medicine.
Yeah, I mean, you really have to also be that emotional support.
Yes.
More than the treatment, the medical professional, I guess.
I think I can speak for the entire medical staff taking care of COVID patients that yes, it's been emotionally draining, this entire process. So when we do have wins, we do like to celebrate those wins as very, very victorious. But yes.
It's important for y'all to be here.
Exactly, yeah. So when we got the opportunity invited, we definitely wanted to show our support, but also watch him walk out of the doors as well. Or be with
That's
that.
rewarding for you, I assume, right?
Everybody
Yeah,
can
yes,
agree.
oh, yes.
Yes. Everybody can
I
agree.
could say one thing is Hito was a fighter. From day one, he was very determined. His whole family was very positive, and by the time when it was time to wake him up and for him to start his rehab process, he was still on the ventilator, and he was following commands, and he was actually doing as what we told him to do. Start moving your arms, start moving your legs. And no matter what, before therapy could get there, he was doing everything we asked of him. You could tell he was bound and determined to be a fighter. When he woke up on that day that we turned all the sedation off, he knew exactly where he was. He just asked me, lipped to me because he was on the ventilator, how long have I been here? What day it is? Besides asking about his family, then he said, can I see my dog?
His dog?
His dog. Yeah. So he was a fighter. He was bound and determined to beat this.
So this doesn't necessarily surprise you that he's going home, or
We
anything can happen in medicine?
We celebrate the positive. We've got to have something to look forward to. COVID has changed our lives the last 6 months. our world have been turned upside down in healthcare. Everybody at the hospitals, everybody from housekeeping all the way up to administration has been super supportive. We can't do this. We have each other's backs. We're emotionally supportive day in, day out.
And say your name and your title, please.
My name is Michelle Walls, W-A-L-L-S, and I'm a medical ICU nurse. I'm a registered nurse.
And you, Michelle with 2 L's or 1 L?
2 L's.
Okay. And do you remember when you woke up from sedation?
Yes.
What day?
I don't remember what day it was.
So
No.
long
It was so,
I'm sure they all.
In August.
yeah, it was
Right,
in
in
August,
August.
but I mean,
Well, she said they left the 16th.
18.
Oh,
When
so
it-
probably 3 weeks.
First of all, your name?
Sheryle Bazan,
Spell your last name.
B-A-Z-A-N.
Cheryl, tell me about this whole, when he first came down with, when did you find out, and what was it like for the family?
He got sick on Father's Day, and we took care of him at home for about 7 days, and then we decided it was time to go to the emergency room, and it was just a steady decline from there. Then they decided that HCA Conroe took great care of him. All the convalescent plasma, remdesivir, everything that was being approved, he got there, and he just continued to decline. So then the union got involved, the department got involved, and we got him to a hospital that had ECMO. ECMO's a heart and lung bypass machine. And so when he got there, he was on the ECMO machine for 25 days, and then the ventilator for 55 days. So we're on day 80 right now.
Visits, couldn't have visits, what'd you do?
That was one of the toughest part, is not seeing him. The hospital had a system set up, Zoom, it's kind of like FaceTime, so he could hear our voice even though he was sedated, and we could see him. They would prop up the camera so we could see him, and we would just tell him we loved him, and we would tell him to keep fighting, and just pray that he was able to hear us and keep up the fight.
See all this in the streets, these officers are putting their lives on the line. You ever figure anything like this happen?
Never in my life. Him being an officer for 25 years, I thought something may happen, over his career, but I didn't think it would ever be COVID or a disease like this, no.
What can you say to other people? There's a lot of them that's kind of brushing this off right now and just, oh, it's a nothing to it deal. What could you say to those people?
It's real. It's hard to believe. It's still unbelievable to me that we've gone through this. But I'm encouraging taking precautions. We wore masks the entire time, even when he was at home, and the kids nor I got COVID. I got my antibodies tested. I don't have antibodies. So I'm a believer in masks. I know they're inconvenient sometimes, but we have to think of the good of the community.
Thanks a lot.
Well, this is going to be perfect.
Care team took care of Mr. Bazan. We pulled through. We had
you can
we didn't save everybody, but as you speak, know the 2 people we saved, the police officers. So we know how tough you guys are. We appreciate what you do. God bless you. I didn't do.
I'll tell you what, go get your car right now, pull it in front of my car, so it's for everybody else. I'll make sure they know that's what we're doing.
prayers, the doctors, the nurses, the respiratory therapists, everybody played a part. And I wouldn't be here without y'all's prayers and y'all's support. So thank y'all very, very much. It's overwhelming. Thank y'all. Thank you so much.
This is what you asked for, and you got it.
She remembered my Capri Sun that I was begging for in the hospital. So, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
That went great.
They're supposed to deliver, but I don't know that they delivered yet.
That one's a full one.